It's time to tinker and talk the night away. Grab your glue and paints, we're back again. It's model making day. From classic cars to soaring planes and steam trains on the track. Whether diecast builds or part work kits, there's no turning back. So let's tinker and talk, just you and me, building dreams from plastic, one sprue at a time. You see, whether sanding down or fitting parts, we share the joy, that's how it starts. Come along, let's tinker and talk the night away. Oh, oh, oh. Got a Mustang here and a Spitfire too, maybe a steam train. The smell of glue, the sound of chat, in this world we all remain. Got a tip or trick, then drop it in chat. We build as friends, not just fans. This bench is open, the stream is live. Come lend a helping hand. Yeah, we tinker and talk with laughs and care. The hobby's better when you've got good folks to share. From sanding wheels to fixing wings, we celebrate the little things. So come on in, let's tinker and talk the night away. Screws and glue, just me and you, talking shop till the model's through. A misstep here, a perfect fit. We cheer each other every bit. Let's tinker and talk under workshop lights, chasing calm and joy through long creative nights. From revel kits to die-cast dreams, we're builders, makers, part of a team. It's Tuesday night, let's tinker and talk the night away.
Good evening all, and welcome to another Tinker and Talk Tuesday. So, having completed the Mallard last week, I figured why not get back onto another steam engine and continue the Flying Scotsman. Now, if you saw the last Tinker and Talk, where I did do a bit of work to the Mallard, and I was doing a little bit of valve gear, you know how well that went. So I figured, glutton for punishment, let's do some more valve gear. So I've had a look through. It doesn't look too complex. We're not even putting it on the engine, so how hard can it be? So I've got 72. I've also got 74, 75 and 76. Now, I don't think I'm going to get through half of that lot at the moment, but I figured, rather than digging through a box, have it all prepared anyway. The reason I don't have 73 is actually 73 is already done. So these are basically the next issues for the Flying Scotsman, and it is all valve gear. So I figured, let's have a look and see how far we get. So I'll take you over to the workbench and we'll get on. Hey Ian, yep, the retro room is awesome. It's quite funny actually. Obviously, seeing the retro room and the workshop, the cameras that he uses, they sort of like are opposite depths of field. So the workshop looks much bigger on camera, whereas the retro room looks much smaller on the camera. So it's a bit funny. I wasn't expecting it to be as deep, but it's certainly a good room. And I didn't play in there all night, so I could have done. Right, so issue 72. I've already done a little bit of the drilling, so basically just had to drill out some of the holes. So it's 1.7 and try to remember what it was from earlier. 1.2 and 1.7 millimeter holes that we've had to drill in this. Now this piece is 72. 74 is basically the exact same thing. So that's why I pulled those through, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get both of those done. Now I've just realised, yep, I do have my super glue, ideal. But I hadn't actually checked that I have my super glue to hand. What I do need is get a tray that I can put some super glue on, and hopefully a little bit of wire, because this will help when it comes to laminating all these together. Cut the end off that one. Excellent. As I said, 73 has actually already been done. I think when I had these, because I had so many sort of hit and miss issues, I've done a few bits of valve gear, as you can see here, and surprisingly I've stayed in this box for so many years. But I think it's one of these that was 73. Now I'm guessing one of these is maybe a little bit later on. I don't think it's earlier. But as I say, that was all done, and we're pretty much doing the same sort of thing anyway, where we're just laminating bits of metal together. So 73 can go to one side. So in 72, we have to drill out the holes, got to clip all the parts out, got to line it all up, and then we have to glue them all together. And then this one, we need to do a little bend on these to make this little spacer. And then we have that at the end of it, which we're not using straight away. As I say, I don't think any of the next few issues involves the engine at all. But we've got to do this twice, effectively, just opposite sides. Hey, Spider Sprue. Right, so grab those. I'll try and find a reasonable pair of cutters. I go through cutters so much because I use them for cutting metal. Anyone got good tips from what sort of sprue cutters cut metal nicely? That piece fell out anyway as I was trying to drill the hole, so that's already out. What piece are we going to need first? Looks like we're going to need this piece first. And this piece. Now what I've done with these before is when I've glued them together, I've then gone over the sides of them with the emery just to clean them up afterwards, rather than trying to clean them up first. So we need to laminate these together. Now one's got a detail on it, one doesn't. So make sure they go the correct way around. And I could probably do with grabbing the 1.2mm drill bit just to help me line that up. This stuff's a little bit thicker than photo etch, but yeah, I've used scalpels before for photo etch. Yeah, just a little bit thicker than photo etch. And I think I'd probably snap the scalpel blade, to be fair. Yeah, 1.2 it is. I've only got one of these, unless I go hunting through the box, but hopefully this will be good enough. We can push that in there, like so, making sure we've got the detail on the outside. Grab our super glue. So it's glued itself shut. Right, so now we can run bit of glue along here. Now, I would be tempted to grab the other parts from issue 74, but you can guarantee if I did that, I'd probably end up mixing them up and put 72 and 74 parts together instead of the individual parts. And I don't really want to be doing that. Right, so that's that one. And then what's next? So then we need these little parts. And again, these have got detailed piece and a non-detailed piece. Hey, Rach. I haven't seen that video yet. 50 mins into it. I thought mine was long enough with the skyline at hour 48. How long's your video? I've seen a life-size gauntlet now as well. When I saw Wayne's one, that thing's immense. I didn't even realise it was that big. Hey, Bogdes. Right, again, just going to grab the drill bit, if we can get it out there. Again, just going to try and line up one of these holes. Actually, do I want to do that just yet? No, I don't, because I want to bend these ones first to make like a little fork. So we got detail. Don't have detail on this one. It's detail on the other one. We do have two little markers, so we're going to need to bend it. Which way do we need to bend it? Let's have a look at this one first. This will tell me. So bend it to the mark. Now I had to do this on the mallard. It's really, really difficult to try and get the second bend in, because it almost wants to try and bend itself back. But you got to try and get this little fork shape. And you've got to do the same sort of thing with this one. Don't know if it's any easier to actually bend the smaller one first, and then try and bend that one. No. That did just bend it back where it was. So we do that one first, and then we'll try doing this one. Yeah, I'm sure he won't like it being bent. Certainly not in the shapes of this is going anyway. Just hoping my voice holds out with this live stream. Right. Really croaky this evening. Right, so we need to get that detail piece. Right, try to get that lined up. We've sort of got a fork shape. I think this one might need to be bent out a little bit further. I don't actually know what goes in the middle of this one. I don't know if we're doing that far or not. I don't know what the distance is that we need. Right, we'll give that a go. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. Fairly even. So if I just hold that with my pliers for a minute, and then using the 1.2mm bit, try and get those holes aligned at the front there. Like so. And then we can visually, hopefully, align that rear one. And then just tack in some glue. Excellent Bergdis. So when you say finished, is that mechanically or completely finished? Don't know what you actually planned on doing to it. Right, so we'll just get that one glued up. Good thing I bought these over, because it looks like I'm going to need this piece, the combination link. That's what's going to go into it. Now we do have two of these, and I think they're pretty much identical. Looks like it. There isn't a detail and non-detail piece on this one. So put that one in there. So what we need to do with this one, so at the minute we're just checking that it actually fits in there. We'll just take this drill bit out. I need to make sure this will fit between that gap, which at the minute it won't. So if I just hold those in the pliers, and I think I can probably just force this to open that up a little bit. In fact, what I use is a screwdriver. Right, so now that will fit in there. What I'm now going to do is just place that in there, and then try and crush that other bit around it a little bit, just to ensure that's a nice snug fit. And that looks like it's going to line up nicely, which is great. Right, what else we got in here? We've got those bits. So then we need to do the exact same thing for these pieces. This is actually going a little bit quicker than I thought it would. So again, we've got a detail piece. It's going to go like that, but we do need to open up the end of here. And that's pretty much the same thing as we were doing with the other one. So one way, and then the other way. That's great, bug this. So you'll be travelling the world. Right, let's see if we can shape this one a little bit better. Right, that's a bit better. Now, presumably, it's not going to be the same piece, but a similar sized piece is going to go in between there. So let's just use this as a test. That's fine. In fact, it might be a bit too wide. Right, so detail piece, non-detail piece. Sandwich those together. Try and get these two front holes lined up using the drill bit. Pair of pliers. That will allow me to just get the rest lined up, hopefully. Now, I think I might just get a 1.7mm drill bit just to line that hole up as well to make sure everything's lined up. It should be that one. Right, so we've got that in there. That's lined up at the front. You can clamp that in the middle. In fact, let's use the wider jaws of these pliers. And then just use my little bit of wire again, and we can tack that in place. Now, at the minute, that's a little bit twisted. Not too bad. Right, let's flip that over, and we'll run a bit of glue on this side. And then I think on the detail side, yeah, we take this one out. We have this piece that's going to go on top of there, like so. And I will just use that to line it up. And we'll get that tacked in as well. Right, I think that's everything in that issue. So we can basically do the same thing for issue 74. So we'll leave those all over there for a minute. And then it's pretty much the same thing, just mirrored for issue 74. So maybe I will get further through than I thought. So again, I'm going to kick off with these ones. Again, we've got the detail side and non-detail side. And these ones don't need a bend. Steal that 1.2mm drill bit out of here, hopefully. And again, just going to use, that's flipped over. Now put it through this hole. Use the pliers to clamp it, and then we shall just get that hole lined up, like so. Perfect. Yeah, I think Wayne got the gist of a Janna. I think he was more perplexed about how you learn it all. I think I almost had him convinced that you had to take a quiz before you came down here. But just his questioning when he was saying what's an emmet, couldn't really get it any more just, really, like classic emmet. Right, so we've got that glued together there, and again we just need to get these small, I think this is a combination link. I want to say that's what it's called. I don't know if it actually says that in the magazine. Just rings a bell from when I was doing the mallard. I'm fairly sure I know exactly where this goes. Although having said that, I'm pretty sure the mallard one had sort of a dog bone look, so it was splayed out both ends. Yep, I'm sure Rach will. Although to be fair, she'll probably be chatting to Esther more than anything else about fabric and bears and things like that. So right, I think that's got enough bend in it. And if you're ever going to do this as a running model and hats off to you if you're creating all your links like this and actually they work. When you saw the last time the Mallard one, it just fell apart on the workbench when I tried to demonstrate it. Right, and now I know that needs to fit this. I can check that before gluing it. And make adjustments as I need to. I think that one's a bit too flat. Yeah, as Rach said, yeah, we're happy to pop over the water, come into foreign land. Rach is going to kill me for saying that. Right, so that'll fit in there. Hey, Ramon, all good, thanks. Just hoping that my voice holds out and gets going croaky. Right, so need that 1.2mm drill bit. There we go. Right, so that's lined up there. That one at the back looks pretty good to me. Use my smaller pliers. And then, again, just going to run a bit of glue around it. And that now should be the right size because I've already checked it. Yeah, Wayne is desperate to come down, to be fair. It's just the timing and price. I think he's looking towards the end of the month, just when the Scottish holidays finish, because then the price drops. And obviously he's just spent about £1,000 on his car. So things are a little bit tight, I think, at the minute. Come on, out you come. Right, so same sort of thing with this one. We need to bend the end of it. He might still take you up on that offer, Chris. I don't know. I think it might depend on whether he comes down with the kids or anything, or whether it is just him and Esther. And even fuel's going to be about £100, there and back sort of thing. I'm sure these marks are too close to each other. I'm sure that was what makes it so difficult to get it to fold how they say they want it. Whereabouts are you, Bark? 5.5 hours, and it took me 4.5 hours from Corby. Yeah. Yeah, but everywhere in Cornwall is an uphill. You go out going uphill, you still come back going uphill. That's how Cornwall works, apparently. Yeah, Rich is still up in Yorkshire, I believe. Couldn't tell you exactly where. I want to say North Yorkshire, to be fair. Right, so let's grab that drill bit again. I'm sure if I looked from a box, I would probably find another 1.2mm drill bit. Right, so detail piece. Yep, as the wife said, 1984. I don't think Wayne liked that. He thought it was a young whippersnapper. So, old as the Karate Kid and Ghostbusters. Yep, almost forgot that other. Actually, no, I'll get this bit glued together first, and then I'll put that other detail piece in. Yeah, can I get this so it's not as twisted as the first one? Again, it's one of those things I need to remind myself that as much as I'd like the running gear to work, it is a static model, so I'm not going to be heartbroken if this doesn't actually run. Now, these two issues are pretty much identical, but the next issue, there's a lot more work to do. It's a lot more complex. That's got to go on the detail side, and we need detail side out. It's got you probably can't see it on the camera, but it does have 3 little rivet details on this little plate I'm putting in. Again, got to try and get it to align with the bit underneath it. Right, that looks pretty good. I'm toying with what to do next week. So maybe I'll throw a quick vote out to the viewers currently watching the stream. So do the Lego DB5, continue that, and possibly even finish it. And I did fix that problem from last week. The other thing is I've just rediscovered, because I'd sort of half forgotten about it, that I've got the ugears GT40 that I want to start. And obviously there's still Flying Scotsman that I can continue as well. That means you're almost exactly 1 year older than me, because I'm October 19th. So 11 months between us. Just remember, age is just a number, but it also means that you get bigger toys and more expensive ones. Right, so we've got that piece, we've got that piece, we've got that piece. We then have that one, and that one. So they're the issues, 74 and 72. I think that's all we need to do. Yeah, so that's it for 74. And if you're interested in flicking through issue 74, that's the rest of it. So I don't know in 75 whether we continue using these bits or whether we're just getting a collection of them. As I say, we've got a bit of a collection already, as you can see. So let's have a quick look. Let's put that drill bit in there before I lose it. So 75, as you can see, a little bit more complex. Quite a few more parts in that sprue. Still got to laminate a couple of pieces. Got to bend a piece. Add that piece. Put that piece on. I remember doing that for the Mallard. Had to actually bolt that piece on, and then they wanted us to remove it again, because the combination link goes in here. So we're going to have to bend this, I reckon, to get something in there. Either that was going to be a pin that goes through it. So yeah, it doesn't look like we're using any of the parts we've just created. It's a completely separate issue. So we've got 20 minutes, so let's see how far we get with this one. Now, these are slightly different, as you can see, the left and right, etc. So it's not going to make any difference if I put them in here and add my pile of pod parts and valve gear parts. So good puzzle there, I think. Right, so let's open up this, and you can probably see actually how bent it is. This is not the only part that's like this, so I'm hoping I can shape this without anything breaking. Are we doing a what's my age? Yeah, Rachel will be 40 this year. No, next year. She's going to kill me. Yeah, well, one's ready. Mallard's ready. Now just Flying Scotsman. And obviously, I now have the excuse that it doesn't have to stay in the workshop. Now, I'm trying to work out what is what here, because that is looking pretty damaged at the minute. Which way around is it? That way. Okay, so that's one piece that should flatten out nicely. And it might be just that one piece that's been bent, which is good. And I think that's just a detail piece that might laminate onto something else. So that's really good. Right, now before we take anything out of here, we'll probably need to do a little bit of drilling. Not sure what. Right, so what do we need to drill and where? So A, we need to drill at 1.2, and B, we need to drill at 1.5. So let's get 1.2. Now, I've always said this, that if you ever got multiple holes to drill, always start with the smallest one, because ideally you can't go wrong. If you start off with the bigger one and you go through the wrong hole, then you then have to try and work out a way of fixing that. But you can always make a hole bigger, not really make it smaller. The other thing I've also done is just marked the ones that are bigger with a bit of Sharpie or something. But for today, I'm doing it on the fly. Right, so 1.2 mil, and it's going to go through this one. And it's always good to have a sacrificial block as well. You're not ruining your work mat. That one, that one, that one. You're allowed a Mini, but it's got to be the Mini Cooper like S or something like that, like the John Cooper one. Right, so that's that one, that one, that one. Drill out this one. There's a problem drilling these ones that have got a single point because they end up breaking off. And then you've got to try not to lose them. So I'm guessing we're going to need to do this one as well. My guess is they're just probably washers or something. Now we need to do these ones. You've put holes in this. Why can't they just make them the right size? Right, then we need to do these 4 down here. 5, actually. And then what was the other size? 1.5. Rach is what I like to call selective Cornish. She will decide which side of the county she's, which side of the Tamar she's from at any given moment. No, jam goes on last. The cream is like the butter, and then jam on top. Right, so that's 1.2. And then we need 1.5. Which is going to be that one. Right, so 1.5 needs to be these 4 down here, this one here, and I believe that's it. Oh, this one here as well. So these 4, this one, and this one. Although to be fair, if that's a 1.5mm drill bit, which in theory it is, then that's already at size, which is great. Excellent. Goes back to my point of why can't they make them the right size in the first place? They surely can. Right, so we're going to start off with these parts, I think. Now, presumably we've got 2 of them to make. Yep, that's right. So we've got, they're all detailed pieces, it looks like. So presumably then when this is finished, you'll be able to see both sides. Right, so we're going to sandwich those 2 bits together. Let's just grab my 1.2mm drill bit again. That'll help align those ones. Grab the little pliers. Get these holes at the back lined up. And we'll get that glued in place. So that's that one. Do the same for this one. Yeah, I started watching that video and I haven't got around to finishing it yet. Now Ian's kit's just replaced the batteries. Is that right, Mark? It's sort of like a power feed into the battery box. Because I saw someone say about it for the Skyline, and they had to keep the door open. Now, as it happens, I already know another solution for that potentially. If you can put a JST connector or something in the middle of the power connector, because it is possible to run a JST connector through the metal floor where the undercar neons actually go. Me and Mike discovered that. So theoretically, you might just have to drill a small hole through the plastic of the lower part of the floor pan, and then theoretically, then you could actually have it so that it wasn't trailing out the passenger door, or it was trailing underneath the car. Okay, that's good. And again, if that's the case, then you can go through the holes where the neons are, if it's just a standard JST connector. But I guess if that's only if you've got the car still in bits. Or if you're stupid like me and actually take the car apart again. Yeah, that's pretty good. Obviously, the Mike Lane power mods and things and what have you. Also, you can power via a USB power bank, because I use that quite a lot for when I do shows. Right, so that's those two bits done. So now we need to take this piece and do some bending. Right, that piece is already broken off there, that's fine. So that one, and this one. It's interesting to see the difference between the Scotsman and the Mallard construction. Because I think with the Mallard, this was like 3 or 4 pieces that we put together. It wasn't... Actually, I think this was actually still attached to the main chassis, and we had to bend it from the main chassis. Right, so with this, we need to bend this one up like this. I'm going to bend it a little bit beyond 90. So that hopefully we do get a 90. And you can see how much that's bending up at the minute. So hopefully once this is all shaped, it won't be too bad. Hey Steve, I'm coming to the end of the stream now. I'm just try and do some valve kit, and amazingly nothing has gone wrong. See, with my models, that I love power modding them because everything turns on and everything lights up. And you'll see in a minute when the when I switch to the tripod camera, you'll see that all the models are lit up. And now I've got the Broadlink Pro, and pretty much all the other models are powered by Mike's Genius. Then they pretty much all can be turned on as I walk in the room. Right, I've only got 2 minutes to go, and the next bit's going to be fiddly. So I'm not going to try and rush it, and I might save it for another time or do it off camera. Basically, what we need to do, take these 4 pieces and make 2, so they're laminated together, and then these pieces, it looks like we then have to use that to join what we join up here onto here, and then have this piece on the front of that, making something about yay wide, looks like. And I can guarantee, me just explaining that, I've done that wrong. So if I was actually going to do it practically, I think I would have done it wrong anyway. Those bits actually go in here, and then they still attach that bit on there. Nope, it attaches here. Right, if I can't explain it, then I definitely can't do it. So I'm giving up on that. Right, I think that's enough for that one. Otherwise, I'm gonna cause a problem for myself later on. So let's see if the computer's actually gonna work. It is. Right, so thank you very much for joining me. Yeah, if I can't explain how to put that together, I'm not going to be able to put it together, am I? So I will leave that, and I'll probably do it when I'm a little less tired, and possibly not on a live stream. I'll say, maybe pop it in comments if you see this afterwards. Which build you want me to do maybe next week? So Flying Scotsman, the GT40, the ugears GT40, and what was the other one? Oh, the Lego DB5. So that's probably my shortlist at the moment. If something else comes up in the meantime, then I might chuck that in there. But yeah, if I don't hear anything, then I'll probably just make a judgment call, depending on what I've done on the day and how mentally exhausted I am. But I'd like to get onto the GT40, which is up there on the shelf. It does look like a good build, and also you've done the ugears Cobra, which is pretty good, but this is like twice as many parts, if not more. And as I said, with the models on the shelf here, you can see they're always lit up. I love them lit up. So batteries definitely would not survive around here. I did consider actually lighting the mallard and putting like a little O-gauge lamp on there. So that might come in the future as well. So you never know, mallard might come back to the channel for that little tiny mod. But as I said, thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you on the next Synchron Talk Tuesday. So cheers.